Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. Hope you're good. Apologise, I went AWOL, didn't I, on Friday? Just a bit of Christmas shopping and stuff. Life kind of got in the way there, so yeah. To be honest, I didn't have that much for the weekend anyway. I didn't have many bets. Um, the nap, of course, the nap one. What would be the nap? Broadway boy. But you'll never know, will you? But yeah. To be fair, I think everyone backed it anyway, did they, judging by the market anyway. Anyways, main news, I suppose, this week, building up to Christmas, is around the King George. Allaho, who, if you remember, I didn't think they'd be sending Allaho to the King George. Too precious. But he's going to the King George by the looks of it. So that should be good. Jerry Colon might not be going. I don't quite know what's going on there. To be honest, I think it's, as I said, I think it'll come down to the ground, and always said it'd be like kind of 50-50 if he ran. That would depend if the ground came up soft or not. I think he needs some soft in the ground. So apparently, I know earlier in the week, last week, Gordon said he works on Friday, and if he works well, he goes to the King George. But they say these things, don't they? Apparently, he did work well. They were happy with him, so at least the horse is okay. But yeah, I think it'll come down to the ground. I always thought it would, but as I got as someone who did snaffle a bit of 33s for Jerry for the King George, it would be nice if he came across. Literally just a bit of change, like literally. But it did kind of average out about 20s, what I got him for. But oh, we'll see. But Allaho, yeah, I mean, no doubt about it that Allaho 2 years ago would have won this. It's a fucking terrible race, it is. It's a piss poor renewal. I think Braidman's game's around 5 to 2, 11 to 4. I won't back him at 10 to 1. I wouldn't. You offer me 10 to 1 and I won't back him. Yeah, the race has fell apart. 2 years ago, Allaho would have just, yeah, he'd have destroyed these, I think. That performance in the Punchestown Gold Cup that day, he put everything into that race. I'm not sure how much he had left that day, and I wonder if his problems kind of stemmed from that day. As we mentioned before, he is a horse, he just puts it all on the line, he just runs as fast as he can, and the other horses can't keep up. There's no doubt in my mind he's not going to be the same Allaho he were 2 years ago. Horses, they don't just stay at this level, you know, they go up and then they go down. But he will not have to be that good to win the King George. So then you've got the grey area, haven't you? How much less can he be and still win the King George? That's your grey area there. I mean, he's a legend, isn't he? He is. He's just unbelievable horse. One of the best horses I've ever seen, and it'd be kind of fitting for him to win a King George. It would. Be nice to have that on his CV. I think he'd almost deserve it, like, but I don't know. Certainly at the price he's going to be, I mean, you're taking, I think he's sort of around 2 to 1 now, ante-post. That's a bit short ante-post, you know. Imagine when he's declared you'd be getting sort of 6-4 maybe. Non-runner no bet. I'd rather take 6-4 non-runner no bet than 2-1 just at the minute anyway. But yeah. Yeah, if Joey does come across for this, I'd say one way or another the race is going to Ireland anyway. I think we shall see. Other kind of running plans is the Elliott horse, the slow Elliott horse, 3-card brag. I think his target is now, I think connections have said his target is going to be the 4-miler, which would suit him perfect. He'd be a big contender for that. And as a result, I think he's being trimmed into sort of favouritism now. Yeah, that race will suit him ideally. Gordon's also got a couple others. Favre de Champeau, we said, didn't we? I think that'd be his race, but the Ryanair boys aren't keen on that race, so I wonder if he might end up more likely now to be in the Browns. Possibly, yeah. Because he's also got another horse, hasn't he, there, the handicapper. I forget what he is now, but so that's kind of the main sort of news bits. So we'll look back on all the racing. I haven't got any sort of ante-post bets or anything for today, but there's a lot to ponder. There's been some good racing, and I think somewhere in the last week we've probably seen a festival winner. I think it's quite likely. On balance, yeah, probably. Right, so we'll rewind all the way back to Tuesday here. Punchestown, Spillane's Tower. He did win, didn't he? Just that much. Yeah, 2-mile novice chase, Spillane's Tower. He beat Firm Footings ahead here. He was settled in the rear, a bit keen early. He was still last, approaching 3 out. Mark asked him there, and he produced a good jump, and he was still last, but he was only sort of 4 lengths off the lead. They were tightly bunched up here. 2 out, Captain Combi and Firm Footings kind of collided on landing, and Spillane's Tower was sort of produced through the middle of those two to make a line of 3. He jumped the last upside, Firm Footings. Those two came clear. He had a bit of a ding-dong with him, but in truth he always looked like he was holding him, and he held him there by a head. Right, so where does this leave him for handicaps? It depends how they rate him. If they rate him on a line through the third, then it's not looking so good, but I don't think the third gave his run in here, so if we're more inclined to go with a second horse, take him as a line, Firm Footings. I think he were 1-3-4 over hurdles, so it may be looking at kind of 1-3-7 here, although it was Firm Footings' chase debut. Being the sort of horse he is, it might give him a few extra. The connections he's got, he might be 1-3-8, 1-3-9, which is nice. It's nice enough, so it's a nice sort of mark for a big handicap pot. I think he'll improve going up in trip, and yeah, we've still got him firmly on the radar for a big handicap somewhere. Firm Footings also ran here on his chase debut. He's got some nice bits of form. He ran well in the Martin Pipe. He came sixth in that race, beaten 6 lengths. And he could also be interesting for an handicap down the line. Yeah. But yeah, mainly Spillane's Tower. Right, 3 mile beginner's chase. So Embassy Gardens beat Let's Go Champ 13 lengths. We're just focusing mainly on Embassy Gardens here. He were really good at the second. He were great at the third. He kind of sat in that position a lot through the race, second or third. 6 out, a good jump took him into the lead. He went on between the last two and stretched clear. This were a really impressive chasing debut, this. He jumped great, and even when he got in close, he was quick away. I watched this live, and after 2 fences, I just said to myself, Embassy Gardens wins this. You know, you see some horses just take to fences so well, don't they? He's quite a tall horse. He were bit in and out last year. He did blow out at Cheltenham. You just wonder, being a tall horse, that can happen. They can get a bit weak towards the end of that season, and if he's kind of strengthened up into himself now, he could be a different horse. So, you know, I'm still open-minded with the horse. I'd have some reservations, but I won't just have him in a box there. I think maybe he could be a different horse this year. We'll sort of learn more when he goes up in class. He were rated 140s over hurdles, 140, which I would say was quite a stiff mark for what he achieved. But he looks like being a much better chaser, I'd say. 4 miler or RSA, I'd be saying, I mean, he's made his debut over 3 mile here. He looks more like a 4 miler to me, for the 4 miler. And if you can catch Patrick Mullins' ride early in the ante-post markets, yeah, that's a good place to be. They put him in at 12-1 there, but he does have a few other possible contenders, will he yet? I'll just hang 5 for now, I think. But yeah, this were good. He was very keen last year. He seems to have settled for a fence. He could be a bit, yeah. He could have come forward a lot from last year. Right then, Thursday, nice. And talking of impressive chase debuts, well, he had another one here. 2.5 mile beginners, Blood Destiny beat Hartwood by 9 lengths. Basically just led all the way here, but his jumping were awesome. He were very, very fast. He were quick through the air and fast away from his fences. He brushed through 2 out, with only semblance of an error there. This form looks good. Hartwood split Grangeclare West and Corbett's Cross last time. You'd kind of mitigate that. Maybe Hartwood were running for a handicap mark here. And Blood Destiny did get £8. If Hartwood, I wonder if he might be one for that Paddy Power chase, handicap chase at Christmas. 3 mile Leopardstown one, maybe. Not sure. He's got bits of nice form there. Yeah, Blood Destiny. He looked awesome at times last season in Ireland, but then he went over to Cheltenham with a big reputation. He was challenging Lossiemouth for favouritism. But I don't know, the occasion sort of got the better of him. He just blew out there. that'd worry me with regards to Cheltenham. But in Ireland, he's could take some beating. This were impressive. Yeah. When you get a horse like that, they go to Cheltenham, blow out, then they look impressive the next season. It always creates a bit of a headache there, because you've always got that in the back of your mind. But again, maybe a little like Embassy Gardens. You can forgive a young horse that at Cheltenham. You just wouldn't quite know, though, would you? You'd rather have that festival form in a book. But yeah, he was good here. So fast. Yeah, it blew me away. He was good. This was 2.5 mile. Stayed it fine at Naas, stiff track, so. But he'd have no trouble dropping down to 2 if they so wish. Right then. I'm going to jump ahead now to Saturday at Cheltenham. I left a couple of races for the end. Right. Yeah, there were some interesting performances this day. 3 mile, 1.5 furlong novice handicap chase. Are you wise to that? Beat Midnight Fred, best part of 2 lengths here. Wise Guy led. He was pressed by Mufasa throughout, really. Midnight Fred sat 3rd. Are you wise to that? Settled on the inside in 4th. At the 13th, Midnight Fred moved up to press the front 2. 5 out, Midnight Fred led, and he was being pressed by the Wise Guy. On the run to 3 out, Are You Wise to That was angled off the inside to challenge, travelling well. He got a bit low to 3 out, pushed through the top of that. His jumping's interesting, but he has his own way of going about things. But yeah, generally he jumped okay. But 3 out, yeah, he did push through the top of that. On the run to 2 out, he narrowly took it up, still travelling well. But he was out-jumped there by Midnight Fred, who went a length up between the last 2. But shortly after the last, Are You Wise to That regained the lead, and he stayed on determinedly up the hill to win the best part of 2 lengths. Now after this, John Joe said the Ultima would be his target. It'd be interesting for that. He always travelled well here. He's had the speed to win a bumper, a 2 mile novice hurdle, and a 2.5 mile chase around Warwick first time up this season. But he stays the trip strong. This was his first crack at 3 mile, so he's got that pace to travel at the festival and the stamina for the end. Makes him interesting. He took this off 125. I'd imagine he'll go up around £6 for this. Put him on a mark of around 131. That would have got in last year to the Ultima. He does need to go left-handed, this horse. They tried him at Ascot, I think, second time up, and he jumped out to his left there through the race away. Yeah. English novices have a good record in Ultima, as has John Joe. So, yeah, I think he's got the course form now. I think he'd be a rock solid contender for the Ultima. He's also got Monbeg Genius, hasn't he, John Joe? And just the way he was quick to nominate the Ultima for this fella makes me wonder if he's really too fussed about the Ultima for Monbeg Genius. There is 4 weeks between the Ultima and the National, so that's quite doable. But yeah, I'm not quite sure. him on Bet Genius now. But yeah, this fella would have to be a real interesting contender. I've got a feeling he might not do too much in front either, this guy. He kind of got to the front, didn't he? He got headed. Yeah, he might doss a little in front, which would keep him ahead of his mark nicely there. Yeah. Right then, 3 mile 2, Class 1 handicap chase. Broadway Boy beat 300 through 5, 1 1/4 lengths here. This was smashed up, weren't it? It was sixes in week. I think 4-1 when declarations came through on the Thursday. They finished 11-8. Wow. Right, he took them along here, pressed by 300 through 5 throughout. At the 14th, he made a mistake and he were headed, but he soon regained the lead. And 2 fences later, 6 out, he made a worse mistake. He took a big chance with that one, but he got away with it. Again, he were headed, but again, he quickly regained the lead. Now, at this point, Melina Girl had come through the pack into a close third, travelling well. But 3 out, she exited the race. She still looked like she had plenty of running to give there. Broadway Boy were constantly pressed by 300 through 5, but fantastic leaps at the last 2 fences helped him on his way to determined victory. Not quite sure how determined the second horse is there. Yeah. He's got to be a big contender for the RSA or 4 miler. I think I'd prefer him for the 4 miler. I suspect he may end up in the RSA. For a novice, a 5-year-old novice, to take this off 146, that's some going, that's some performance. He's got to be into the 150s now, and you know, a novice in the 150s has got to be a strong contender for any novice chase to contend at Cheltenham. So he's a solid festival contender, I'd say. Yes. Heart on Hearts. Hand on heart, I don't think I'd be having him in an RSA. But I wouldn't be definitive on that. But it does look particularly hot, doesn't it, this novice chase division this year. Don't think he'd get away with a mistake like that in an RSA. And then he's done that the last twice now. He did it last time as well, didn't he? I mean, he's a fantastic jumper generally. Them last 2 leaps, there was some at them. But yeah, in any case, he's got to be a solid contender for those races. Protectorate, yeah, they changed tactics on this fella, and he ran a lot better than on his debut here. Yeah. It looked a bit of an experiment from this race, and I'd say they were walked away happy with the results of that. It'll be interesting next time. Melina Girl, she's after improving, isn't she? Yeah, she ran 13 times in 2022. 13 times. She's a tough old mare, isn't she? She was up £11 for her last win here to a mark of 146, and she looked very likely to be involved. The way she was travelling and the way she's such a strong stayer, she'd have had to be in the mix here. She'd look all over a Kim Muir contender, but she's rated 146. and there's a ceiling of 145 in that race. And although she fell too far out here for the handicapper to take that into account, I don't think he'd be after dropping her a pound anytime soon. He's going to have to get a couple of bad runs into it for it to be going there. So, as a result of that, I'd say maybe she's Irish national bound. She did win at Fairyhouse last year. She took a 2.5 mile mares handicap chase there. She's got a nice bit of course form. Yeah, I think she's got to be, I'd imagine, I'm guessing Irish national, but maybe he'd find something else, I don't know. But yeah, I'd say she's a good contender for the Irish national there. She's really tough, isn't she? She is, and she is improving. Right then, and then we've got a 3 mile grade 2 novice hurdle. Another interesting winner here. Shanna Bob beat Destroy the Evidence a length and a quarter. Bob settled on the inside in about 6th place, behind the leading pack. After a bit of an early scrimmage for the lead, Moon d'Orange won that battle and took them along. Nico angled Bob off the inside on the approach to the fifth, and that were position Destroy the Evidence took up. At this point, Destroy the Evidence was sat 3rd and Bob in 4th. Moon d'Orange tried to slow it down approaching the 8th, but the pack weren't having it and he quickly pressed him and he had to go on again. Bob put in a short one 3 out and he dropped to 5th, just behind the leading pack. On the downhill run to 2 out, Bob came off the bridle and he got a bit outpaced there, but he responded well for pressure, and by the time they were swinging off the bend for home, he'd been switched up the inside into about 3rd place. Destroy the Evidence claimed the lead approaching the last, but Shanna Bob got on top shortly after that flight and kept on well to win snugly at the line. He's a well-regarded point-to-point winner. He's off that point-to-point list, this fella. Henderson Donnelly, well-regarded point-to-point winner, unbeaten. He's just won. You know, he's got course distance form in the book now. And he's 20s in places for the Albert Bartlett. I thought that was a bit surprising. I thought he'd be a fair bit shorter than that. We have talked about that race, haven't we? And that does look a very deep race. There's many, many contenders at the moment for that race. But yeah, I'm surprised he's been put in that price after this. Unbeaten, well regarded, course distance form. Yeah. He's improving and he looks a solid candidate for that race. Along with about 15 others, but he does, yeah. Right then, I'll save these two till the end because they kind of tie in together. So this one Thursday, I think. Only by Night beat Me Lucky Kaelin by 10 lengths. Right. She settled in 3rd. Good jumps at 4 out, 3 out, 2 out. Took her into 2nd. Turning for home, she hit the front travelling well. Approaching the last, Magic Dawn was trying to muster up a challenge, but she were a few lengths behind, and she were never getting there, to be fair. But she was trying to muster a challenge up, but she came down, and Lonely the Night were just left clear and cantered clear. This were impressive. She were impressive. She were. Right. The other one then. 2 mile, this was Friday at Cheltenham, 2 mile 1 novice hurdle, Dysart Enos beat the bat by 2 3/4 lengths. Dysart Enos was settled in 5th on the inside, touch keen early. She moved off the rail and into 4th at the 3rd. Running down the hill, she moved up into 3rd, travelling well. She were eased to the front on the run to the last. Beat the bat on her outside, trying to throw a challenge down, but were never really getting there. She jumped the last 2 lengths up and kept on the hill to win best part of 3 lengths. Right, so we've got 2 good novice mares here, 2 serious mares. Now, up to this point, all her form were on flat tracks on goodish ground. She looked all speed, so as you may know, I did have my doubts, on that basis, if she'd be as effective on a stiff track like Cheltenham. But she's put those doubts to bed here, and she's got to be a serious player in the mares novice hurdle. In fact, she's got to be a bomb-proof contender now. She's got this course distance form in the bank. Right. She's about 4-1 joint favourite now. I'd say that looks about right. I think she'll go off second favourite for this race. Beat the bat, we're rated 125 here. She would get in a 7. So effectively she's took this off 118. I'd say to make it interesting, if we were handicapping this, I'd bang her a stone up for this. That's in a bit harsh for best part of 3 lengths, but she won it so well. To make it interesting, we beat the bat, I think you'd have to put her a stone. So she'd have to be giving him 7 rather than receiving 7. So that's putting her into like the low 130s. And that's why I think she'll go off second favourite here, just because I think he'll look for maybe a fairly softish race for her next run. She's going to have one more run. She did have that impressive Aintree bumper win in the bank, grade 2 there. She won that well. But on hurdles form, basically, what I'm saying is the main Irish contender will have stronger hurdles form in the bank, which is, because there's more competition in Ireland. So I think she's nailed on to go in as second favourite, I'd say. Personally, I won't be backing her now. She's 4-1. I'd say on the day she'd probably go off somewhere between 5-2 and 7-2, I'd be guessing. I do think an Irish mare will start favourite for this. Now, Only by Night, I thought were really impressive. I like Better Days Ahead. Look to the West. Looked good. He did. But she tended to jump a little out to her right. She's going to Solarina next at Fairy House. That'll suit her well. But as for Cheltenham, that would put me off her a little bit. So in Ireland, right, we've got a big contender for Gavin Cromwell here, a big contender for Gordon Elliott, and a big contender for Henry de Bromhead. This is one glaring omission there, ain't there? There's one we're missing. And at this stage, it would look to be fun. She was definitely unfortunate yesterday, weren't she? You know. But, she's a bit keen. Went from the front there. I'd have those other 3 mares in front of her myself. Certainly Only by Night and Better Days Ahead. Willie took the first 5 run-ins of this race, but none of the last 3. At the beginning of the season, you'd have thought Junta Marvel would maybe his number 1. She took a good bumper at Punchestown, I think. She won 2 bumpers there. She's ruled out for the season, and then his shortest price contender at the beginning of the season was Inola. He'd got from France, but she disappointed. So now it seems like it's fun. Out of them 5 previous winners he had, Willie, the only one we'd not seen by now. She came out about now, and that were Lorena. So chances are it might be fun. In which case I'd be happy to take that one on with these other ones. But you never know, he might have an ace up his sleeve this Christmas time. And there's also Tiger Bay Queen to consider as well. She were real impressive last year. Peter Fahey, JP Boyer. So I'd imagine she may come out at Christmas time. The Solarinas on the 27th of January this year, and I wonder if a few of these might clash in that. So look to the west. They name check that race for her. I think she'd definitely be going there. Fun. Only by Night, Better Days Ahead. They could all line up there. I'm not sure of their plans, but they could. At the moment, the betting, you've got roughly Dysart Enos and Brighter Days Ahead 4-1 joint favs. Fun's 12s. Only by Nights 14s, a little bit of 16s. I think Only by Night's overpriced here. I do. Personally, I'd have it. I think Dysart Enos 4-1. That's about right. I think Brighter Days Ahead. I love this horse, but this is what you get sometimes. Do you know when a market's been, when you've had a horse at the front of the market for a good while? The bookies never seem to push these out. They'll shorten the rest up, but they don't push them out. Personally, I'd have Dysart Enos at 4s. I think Brighter Days Ahead should be a touch bigger. I'd say maybe 6-1. But I'd have Only by Night in at, say, 8s. And I'd probably leave Fun at about 12s. So I think Only by Night and Brighter Days Ahead should be a lot closer in the betting. I know Brighter Days Ahead, she won a graded race last time, didn't she? And Only by Night's just after winning a maiden. Yeah. Put it this way, right? if they all clashed in the Sol Arena, I wouldn't be certain Brighter Days Ahead would start favourite over Only by Night. I think she'd be put in favourite, but this Only by Night, you can tell, is well regarded. She made a debut in a bumper against Qualamita, £500,000 horse, and she was smashed into favouritism. So they think somewhat of this. And Jesus, back to last week, had a little on her. She was 11-8. I left a bet on Betfair at 11-8. A bit of it went. Walk the Dog came back, she were even money. So I had to have the rest at kind of evens, and she went off 2-5. I mean, yeah. She's good, and they know she's good. You know. She's definitely overpriced, and I wouldn't put you off having a little on her. It's Only by Night. I still love Brighter Days Ahead, I do. But I won't be as confident as last week. You remember last week she was like in these 5, weren't she? I think that 5 would be a 4 now. But, you know, we're on it at double figure prices. So, you know, that's a nice bet to have. It's getting a bit warm actually. Put the heating on because it was cold last time. It's getting a bit warm now. Oh. I've been toying with 14, 16s, you know, just a point. We've got to leave some room there to cover Dysart Enos, I'd say. But I'd be happy enough to leave her and take sort of 3s or whatever. Not running no bet. But I think I'm just going to hang fire and see if Tiger Bay Queen comes out over Christmas, and if Willie's going to pull an ace out from somewhere. It won't be long. We've only got to wait like another week and a bit, and we'll know then. I think we'll know. If Willie's not pulled out then yeah, be happy enough to take on this fun. What I would say about this Mares Novice Hurdle this year is it looks like being a vintage renewal. I think we're going to have 3 or 4 mares there that would have won last year's race, like, you know, all clashing in this. Brighter Days Ahead, Dysart Enos, this Only by Night. They all look top draw to me. We've got this Tiger Bay Queen we haven't seen yet. She could come into it. And like I say, look to the west, she looked nice as well. It's just that jumping right every hurdle, you know. So I might back her in a couple of weeks. I'll probably have a point on her. Point at in a couple of weeks she might be 10s or 12s. I think I could see her getting trimmed a bit this week. So yeah, I won't put you off having a little on her. I think personally I'll probably just hang fire, just see what happens over Christmas time. Yeah. And this is a bit kind of a lesson from this as well, really. And it's, well, lesson, just not lesson so much, but it just shows you the importance of not getting entrenched in your views here. Because if you take an early position, you have an ante-post bet, you know, you've got to be flexible and fluid in your thinking. You can't just become entrenched in this position like this is the best horse, and then ignore any new evidence that comes out. You've got you've got to kind of be happy to admit you may have got something wrong, because we get things wrong all the time. We're wrong all the time, aren't we, at this game, in the light of new evidence, and reassess, you know. Like I say, nothing wrong with a bet there on better days ahead, brighter days ahead at double figures. That's a nice one to have. And if she puts away only by night, she could be going in sort of 6-4, like, you know. I just, you know, if them two clashed, I wouldn't be certain which one would come out on top. And I don't think the market would be either. I could see them going off pretty close in the market, which suggests, 4-1 for brighter days ahead at Cheltenham, and only by night at 14-16s. I think that's too big a gap. It is. Okay. Right. Performance of the week. Yeah, there's a lot to choose from this week. I'd say I gave it Blood Destiny. I did. It's not often you see a chase debut like that. So fast jumping. Awesome. The second I gave to Broadway Boy, just a 5-year-old novice in a 3 mile 2 open handicap like this off 146, which is a stiff enough mark for a 5-year-old novice. Yeah, he's improving rapidly, and that were good. And third, we'll kind of get as a tie to these novice mares. I think Dysart Enos and Only by Night. Say personally, I went against Dysart Enos before this. Happy to reassess now. Yeah, I got that one wrong. And Only by Night, yeah, she looks good. These are big players for the mares novice hurdle. So it's a week. Yeah, that's it. A week that's left us with lots to ponder, I'd say. Coming up to Christmas, that. Right then. Yeah, we've got some cracking racing coming up, haven't we? A long walk hurdle this weekend. We'll see if West Balboa goes in that. I'd say it's 50-50 that, or the Rollkeel. Hope she goes for the long walk. I'd like to see her at 3 mile against them old boys. I would. I'd like her in that. Friday. Yeah, should be good for Friday this week. Friday morning. Get that done. And then we're into like Christmas zone, aren't we? And like I say, I'm not quite sure that Christmas week. I'm going to be really busy with family and stuff, so I may go AWOL over Christmas. I don't know. If I can, I'll be here. But I don't know. It's the kind of one time of the year where, well, you know, I think if you're lucky enough to have family and stuff at Christmas time, you know, sort of family comes first at Christmas. Cheltenham's a bit different. Everybody knows Cheltenham. That's my time. That's like our Christmas, isn't it? Our Christmas is Cheltenham. I think Christmas personally is with the family, like, you know. But yeah. Oh, just one thing I noticed. If Allaho's going to the King George, I'd imagine he'll be going with Paul, which means on the same day Facile Vega would be running at Leopardstown. So he's going to abandon our special one, I think, for Allaho. I guess we can forgive him that. But yeah, I wonder who'll be riding. Will they put Patrick on him? I don't know. That's a big race. That's a big race for Facile Vega, isn't it? You know, novice chase, the main Arkle contender, but he can't be in two places at once. I'd imagine he'll be on Allaho. So, yeah, someone else will be riding Facile Vega. It doesn't matter. I could ride Facile Vega. We'll see. But yeah, we'll have a little chat about Christmas on Friday anyway, some of the races then. Okay, right. All the best then, take care, and I'll see you on Friday. Thanks for watching. Bye.